Hey there, Doc. Dr. Scott Doherty from Chiro Launch here. I believe in my last video I said I'd be in Jacksonville, Florida. I ended up a little farther south. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hot one today. Again, definitely not dressed for the occasion. You may have noticed I like beaches. I definitely like to come out and check out the water no matter where I am. But actually doing a little work right here in downtown Fort Lauderdale, so I figured I'd come out and check out the water, do this quick video for you. Last video I talked about there being two different major issues that I find, procedural problems or behavioral problems. I talked about procedural problems. This time I want to talk about behavioral problems, which most of them we talk about the doc. In last video I talked about some of the staff might have their own behavioral problems, things that cause them to not do the job they're supposed to do, and those are things that you definitely need to deal with and potentially get rid of a staff member if behaviorally they just can't grasp it. But that's not what I'm talking about today, because we can't get rid of you, Doc. If it's your practice and you're having behavioral problems, they have to be not necessarily fixed, but oftentimes dealt with in some creative fashion. We can fix them all without necessarily changing the habit or the behavior. So let me talk about a few of the behaviors. One of them, probably the biggest one I see, is just habitually running behind, like constantly just being behind. And what that does is it creates no opportunity for growth. If you're always behind, we obviously don't have room for more people, so we can't create that space for more people. If you're always behind and always stressed, and the patients can feel it, the staff can feel it, there's obviously no room for growth there. So we've got to fix that issue if that's your behavioral problem. Number two would be just the way you deal with staff. A lot of docs continually getting really upset with staff over minor things that obviously puts negative issues in the staff's mind. I know one of my old consultants used to talk a lot about offering something to staff, whether it be a bonus or something if they did things right, and then we take it away from them. He talked about that being like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football, and they keep trying to give to you, and you keep taking it away from them. So getting mad at them about little things obviously is that same mental thing for them. They stop wanting to work for you. Third thing I see quite a bit of would be a lot of issues emotionally, mentally about money. So we underprice our services and undervalue our services, don't recommend the care that people probably need because you're afraid of that money thing. And again, that can be dealt with very creatively without you ever getting over your money issues. It can still be presented to the patient properly without having to really fix the behavior. And again, a lot of times those behaviors are pretty deep set in, so maybe they can't be fixed, and we should really work on a way creatively working around that as opposed to working on your weaknesses. You should get better at your strengths and let someone else cover up your weaknesses, so to say. Other thing I see a lot on the opposite end of the spectrum is overwhelming your patients. So recommending more care than they think they need without softening that at all. So I'm of the belief you should recommend what they need, but sometimes that comes across very overbearing and overwhelming the patients, and that'd be a behavioral issue that needs to be corrected as well. You can always soften a message or make a message harder, but again, you should find that sweet spot for you and your personality. And the last thing I would talk about as far as a behavioral issue would be just your motivational energy, your emotional energy. And when that starts to wane, we stop training our staff. We stop doing a lot of things, really. We stop doing our report of findings the right way. We stop doing our new patient the right way. We stop doing re-exams. But training of staff, having that motivational energy to train the staff is probably my most important of all that motivations. Really keeping that consistent schedule so that they're always improving and we don't start to drift and end up in a practice where we're like, what happened? We created all these systems and we're not doing them anymore. So the motivation to do that on a week-by-week basis is very, very important. And again, behaviorally, a lot of my docs that I come to meet with, they fell out of that somewhere. And again, that caused a big snowball effect on a lot of systems along the way. So those are the behavioral issues I see. And again, they can all be fixed. They can all be covered up without you necessarily having to change yourself. Because change is tough, I gotta be honest with you. I know a lot of the old consultants used to talk about getting out of your comfort zone and working on you. Great idea, you should do those things. But in the meantime, you should cover those weaknesses up. Have somebody else do those type of things for you. Create systems that manufacture you not running behind or you not dealing with the money. Those can all be fixed procedurally, most of those behavioral issues. So look at them, try to fix them, please. But while you're doing that, cover them up with some other ways of doing things. So don't have time to get to the beach today. I'm probably just going to grab a bite to eat here in Fort Lauderdale. Let's see, where am I heading next? See, next week I'm actually in Pittsburgh, going up east, and then my next trip after that is out southwest, Phoenix and New Mexico. So if you're in any of those areas, give me a shout here, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. If you have any questions, comments, put them down in the comment section down below, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.